Hey guys, we are in the Joplin lot right behind the Dempsey Student Center, and we're going to talk about Acer rubrum, or red maple. The leaf arrangement is opposite, the leaf form is simple, and the leaf margin is lobed. So here is an example. It tends to have three main lobes. Sometimes as you get a little higher on the plant, the leaves are a little mature, you get two additional smaller lobes here at the base. The petiole always has a reddish tint on red maple. So you can see the petiole is the stalk that attaches the leaf blade to the stem, and see how it has that rosy reddish tint. It is a tree. It's broadleaf and deciduous. Height is considered large. Form gets a little complicated. According to Durr, it can be pyramidal in youth, which we're seeing that here, kind of a loose pyramidal. But there's a lot of variability in maturity. They can be rounded, irregular, or oval in maturity. And I think a lot of that has to deal with where they're growing and what they're competing with as far as other trees. Soil preferences, they do like acidic soils, they like even moisture. These are going to require very little pruning other than limbing up occasionally to clear walkways or thoroughfares. Growth rate is average to rapid. Exposure to light is sun to partial. Climactic hardiness zones 3 to 9. Landscape uses, naturalized setting, specimen. I've included street tree because they are used a lot as a street tree, although I really don't recommend it. The flowers are insignificant. The fruit is profuse. It is a samara. A samara is a winged seed. It can be green to red in color, 3/4 to 1 inch. It's not edible. Red maple has a reliable red autumn color. Leaf texture is medium to fine. No real great notable bark characteristics. Two notable cultivars we'll discuss, the first being October Glory. It's got a great growth habit, fall color, and it holds its leaves longer into the fall, so its fall color display will persist longer than other Acer rubrums. Red Sunset is a reliable pyramidal to round structure, orange to red fall color, and incredibly hardy. So for pests and diseases, I only included one, and that's called gloomy scale. And you know how I said they're used a lot as street trees, or as they are here in these parking lot islands? It's a prevalent use, but as a result, they suffer a lot of stress. They need even moisture. They're a native tree, and so they're used to being in the hardwood forest. And so when you put them out in these parking lot islands, they're not getting even moisture, and they're getting a lot of reflected heat off the asphalt. And as such, that creates tremendous amounts of stress. And so they get this insect called gloomy scale. And let's see if we can find some. Gloomy scale is a scale, so it's a sucking insect that adheres to the bark of the tree, and it reproduces really rapidly. And believe it or not, there we go. All of these dark pinpoints are gloomy scale. And so when I say they reproduce rapidly, they do. And so within a couple of years, this whole trunk could be black, covered with gloomy scale. And scale, when its excrement is honeydew, and honeydew molds and turns into something called sooty mold, which gives it that dark or black color. So this is really, I'm seeing most of the gloomy scale on the eastern exposure of this tree, but you can see all of those dots are gloomy scale. But the plant is way more susceptible to it when they're stressed out, and the reflected heat from these parking lots is creating that. Here, we've got an even bigger infestation. So the white dots are some of the older ones. You can see there is a lot of scale. And this is actually coming on the western and the southern edge of this specimen. But look at, that's solid gloomy scale right there. Solid. So it is a North Carolina native. It is a U.S. native. Not invasive. No reference to salt tolerance. We've already talked about red petioles. And it's not incredibly pollution tolerant, so it's not going to be ideal for use in urban settings, big cities. This is Endure on page 49. There is one near the putting green. You're going to find some down in the wetland trail area. And as I said, I am right here in the parking lot by the Dempsey Student Center, and there are several specimens right here. Thanks.
Bye.